have done this already. As Ramadan was coming, but I know we're just too busy, right? Most of us, I guess, Ramadan just like arrived and it was like, what, it's Ramadan tomorrow? Yeah, it sounds familiar. I can see some people smiling like that's exactly what went through my head. But you know, before Ramadan, we should have done this already. It is the time to make an assessment of yourself. An assessment of your level of iman, your level of taqwa. You should make an assessment. If you haven't done it, it's not too late. You can still do it. What I mean is think about yourself. Think about your life. Okay? Let's take the basic things. Let's take your salah. When you pray, first of all, do you pray 5 times a day? I'm not asking, by the way, for any answers. I'm asking you to assess yourself. Okay? Do you pray 5 times a day? I mean, that should, by the way, not even be an issue. I mean, if you are Muslim, you have to pray 5 times a day. You don't have a choice. Do you pray on time? Do you pray at the earliest time? Do you pray every fard salah if you're a man in the masjid, in jama'ah? Do you do that? When you say your prayers, what is the prayer like? Are you just bowing and prostrating and saying some words you don't understand? Or do you come out of that prayer feeling closer to Allah? Does that prayer make you fear Allah? Does it make you mindful of Allah? Do you have khushu' in your prayer? Make an assessment of your prayer, your charity, your zakah. How much charity have you given this year? How much money have you donated? I mean, we Muslims, we are in desperate need. All over the Muslims, all over the world are in desperate need. And we, all of us, even the most poor of us in this country, live comfortable lives. How much charity did you give? Did you do extra fasts? Okay, your tongue. This tongue. What has your tongue been earning for yourself? Have you been enjoining the right and forbidding the wrong? Have you been giving da'wah? Have you been talking to those people around you, your neighbors, your friends, your colleagues about Islam? Have you enjoined the right and forbidden the wrong? Has the Quran, has the tongue been busy with dhikr of Allah, with reading Quran? With making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Has this tongue been busy swearing and lying and breaking promises? Make an assessment of yourself. These eyes, what have they been looking at? Beautiful girls? Good looking guys? Movies? TV? Haram? What have the eyes been looking at? You know, you make an assessment of yourself. These ears, what have they listened to? Music? Singing? Evil speech? What have these ears been listening to? Make an assessment of yourself. You know yourself. Your feet, where did they walk to? What have they walked from? These hands, what have they contributed to? Think about your life. What have you been doing with your life up until now? Your time that is so precious. And what are we, my brothers and sisters, but numbered days? Think about that. What are we? We, you and me are numbered days. Think of yourself as that's it, numbered days. You know, like in a calendar, those ones you just take the piece of paper off? Yeah? You are, who knows, you don't even know how thick you are. How many days you've got on that calendar? Is it this? Is it that? Is it this? But every day, one of those days is going. You're getting closer to the end of that. Maybe today is the last day. You don't know. All we are, brothers and sisters, is numbered days. Time is very precious. What did you do with your time? What did you do with this time Allah has given you? Your health is something Allah has blessed you with. We have the opportunity in this society to eat the most healthy foods, to provide our body with every vitamin. Even we have scientists who have informed us about all the types of vitamins and nutrients we need. Have we filled our body? Have we cared for this body that Allah has given us? Have we looked after our health? Have we exercised it as it's the right of our body? Have we given the right to our body? Or what have we done? Filled it with junk? Assess yourself, brothers. Assess yourself, sisters. What have you done with yourself? Now you have to make a measure of yourself. How was it before Ramadan? Why? Because we want to see how full your trolley is already. Okay? You want to see how full it is. What is inside it? And you want to know why you make the assessment. Because you want to know now, brothers and sisters, that when Ramadan finishes, you want to see what has changed about you. And what is going to stay permanently changed about you. Now, if you now start Ramadan, if you start your Ramadan thinking this way, Ramadan has come. I want to make sure that when Ramadan has finished, I have improved myself and made myself a better Muslim. And that in the year to come, between this Ramadan and the next, I will maintain that, maybe even improve it. And then the next Ramadan, I will improve myself a little bit more. You see, now if you start Ramadan with this mentality, now you know what Ramadan is for. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, so that you may acquire taqwa. Now Allah has ordained for us this fantastic month in order that we can be better. We can improve ourselves. We can come closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the reason for it. Now we're going to examine how Ramadan does that. How does Ramadan allow us to acquire taqwa? First of all, very quickly, what is taqwa? It's important to know. What is taqwa? We could say it is the fear of Allah or the consciousness of Allah. But taqwa really means a shield. It is a shield. And that the word taqwa is rooted from an Arabic word which means shield. So it is a shield. It is a shield that guards us and protects us from Allah's punishment. So taqwa is that which will protect you from the punishment and from the anger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the more taqwa you have, the more protected you are from Allah's punishment. So taqwa is to do acts of obedience to Allah with a light from Allah, hoping for Allah's reward. And it is to leave disobedience to Allah with a light from Allah, hoping for fearing Allah's punishment. So this is taqwa. Or another example, taqwa, imagine if you have a path covered in thorns. You know the brambles? You know those brambles? They grow everywhere, especially this summer, you see lots of them. So if you walk down a path, you don't have to go far here. Or if any of you ever go to the countryside, you don't have to go far, just walk that way a bit and there you are, you're in the countryside. So you walk down a path covered in thorns. Okay, how do you walk down a path like that? How do you go down such a path? You go carefully, right? You're careful. If the thorns, you pick them, you go, you're just careful that these thorns don't catch your clothes and rip your clothes. This is taqwa. I don't mean taqwa means going to the countryside and walking down. Meaning, a person who has taqwa is very, very careful how they go through life. They are careful of the things that are haram and that can harm them. So Ramadan will increase you in this. Being very careful to keep away from those things that will harm you before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? So how is Ramadan going to help us increase in taqwa? How is Ramadan going to help us to do good deeds and to keep away from evil deeds? First thing, one of the amazing things about this month is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chained the shayateen. So that means that the shayateen, the devils who whisper to us and who tempt us and who provoke us and who call out to our nafs and our desires and appeal to our passions, Now these shayateen have now been chained. They have been restrained. Now according to some scholars,